Okay, so for this edition of what's known as the campaign, the Fractured Heart of Stathmore, which is a Stathmore setting that I had written into play, the players who one player has been with me for about 2 years is playing currently a Lightfoot halfling by the name of Wendell, who is a ranger. We have a Lightfoot halfling as well, who is going by the Wild Mage. We have a human witch hunter, which is a witch hunter class that I can't remember exactly who published it, but obviously all rights to them, based on the really good class. Unfortunately, I didn't quite get the pool that I wanted for the first session. Some people couldn't make it. Some people, unfortunately, had to drop from all the further sessions because of plans. But basically, these guys have lived in this realm known as Bosom for quite a while. Wendell has a backstory that's kind of generated there, and I kind of gave them each someone that they know there. Some of them are still working it out. Like Wendell's sister owns one of the shops, so she's does general goods. But we'll find out in further sessions. But basically, they have a contact there known as Yanok. He's a wizard himself. Whether or not they know that or realize that from the last session, something. So they arrive at Yanok's house. This is, for a job. I've never actually been inside of his house. They've known Yanok for years. They've just never been inside of his house, which was kind of strange. And they hear that he has been hearing some really weird stuff from his basement as of late. Yeah, I know that sounds like some kind of joke, but anyway, he's been hearing some really weird noises coming from their basement. So the guys are like, okay, well, yeah, we'll check it out. They go through the basement, typical turn order kind of stuff. It's about a 7 by 8 foot, I think, basement. Not 8 foot, but squares, so times 5. So it's a pretty big house, pretty prominent place, but it's like littered with books everywhere. Difficult terrain for them. They're searching through. They go to the back. They found this really weird room that has a bunch of alchemist supplies and alchemy stuff, a bunch of herbs hanging from the ceiling. It's not too obscene, but I guess it's just enough. So they they look at that. Then there's the wall of that room. Wendell notices a different color as the rest of the brick. So he checks that out. He sees that there's a little tiny keyhole in the bottom right of the wall. So they check that out. They pick it, open up the wall, which is really a door, to find that there is a I guess you can say like an adventurer's cabinet. It's basically has like this weird humanoid skull in it, pearl necklace, which belongs to Saloon, which is a I believe a Forgotten Realms god. Obviously, I've forgotten jokes. Wendell also noticed that the pedestal that the pearl necklace is in was kind of cracked at the bottom, kind of like with small etchings. But they had also heard some whispers coming while they were coming in. So they heard it coming from the back left corner, or the northwest corner, and they eventually, say, okay, well, we've searching around enough. We haven't found anything. Let's see if the culprits of the whispers we heard will come back out. So the sorcerer of the group, which is Lidden is his name, basically casts a illusion to make it sound like they were going up the stairs, and just stayed there in the back corner of the room. Eventually, they see two rats that kind of sitting there, talking, looking at each other while they're coming out, and then they notice Alvaro, which is the witch hunter, and they're kind of frozen in complete fright, which gives them enough time, which gives Wendell enough time to grab one of them. Unfortunately, they didn't quite get the other one. It kind of stomped him. Not stomped him, but used scimitar. and ended up killing him. So they ended up getting this rat on it. Well, they of course jokingly named it Whiskers, and take him upstairs. They show Yanok, their contact, the pendant, and of course he snatches away because it's a secret room. Why would why should they be able to go in there? He said, look at my basement. If I would have wanted to know about that room, should have gone in there. And that kind of took them for a second because, well, they're adventurers. They're not used to going into people's basements. They're used to going into dungeons. So they Whiskers has basically said that their friends made a tunnel system from the lumber mill to try and steal that amulet, which apparently allows them to speak. Revealed later that they are called moon rats by their brethren, because depending on the way, how present the moon is, their intelligence changes. So, like at a new moon, it is a 2. Full moon is like a 14, which is their capacity. That's the smartest that they can get, which is smarter than most characters that I've seen that aren't playing like trying to be intelligent people, obviously. So your typical barbarian. They're smarter than your typical barbarian. Anyway, they go to the lumber mill, and one person gets hit by a rock that they push, and that was the one person that Wendell. It was Wendell that had a rock pushed on him by the rats from the rafters, and Whiskers was in that bag, so he just yelled out, "The hell are you guys doing?" They came down. They're sitting there talking, like, okay, well, we're not leaving because we want that pendant, but it's just a whole like conundrum. So they bring Yanok to them. Yanok and Campion start bickering. Typical player attitude kind of kicks in. They're like, well, if this doesn't get resolved, we have to fight. I don't mean to sound, mockingly when I say that, but if this doesn't get resolved, we have to fight. I was hoping someone would do a persuasion check, but I guess someone wanted more XP in comparison to that. So, immediately, the sorcerer just casts Magic Missile on Campion and kills. All 3 bolts just snap into him. Fight ensues, and the players end up actually getting halfway to 2nd level on their first session, because there was quite a bit of rats. A little crazy. I gotta say, it was really kind of a slow session, and obviously I would take the blame for that as the dungeon master. But regardless, I think the content that was given, because I borrowed off a PDF that someone put online, and it was very good. It's called Beneath the Floorboards by Brian Reeves. If you ever get the chance, check this out. Really good opening adventure. In fact, I was so enthralled by the character Yanok that he is my character's contact. In fact, to some person, he's practically a father figure to Wendell, which was really cool. They did him really well, and yeah, it's everything's really well written. The rats actually have a viable chance against the players. They actually almost took out one of my players just by crowding him because they have mob tactics. Even though mob tactics is a little bit different than the typical kobold mob tactics. Instead of giving themselves advantage because, well, there's they're rats. Instead, they it stacks up to 5 cumulatively, but they get a +1 to attack. So really good adventure, really fun session. I can't wait to actually fill up the table next time, or metaphorical table, because, well, we're doing this online. I can't do it on my table. And we'll see where it goes. I have one person that made their character sheet tonight. He just wasn't ready with a backstory or anything, so he decided to sit it out. Other than that, good group, can't wait to go for the next session. If you guys are watching, good job. Next week,